All right. Well, last podcast, of course. And this one was the one that's been below the surface all the time. I kept on trying to emphasize the nature that the mythi themselves were formed in poetry, a poetic expression, an expression that had a meter, it had a rhythm. An epic, it had iambic hexameter, endless flow of rhythms as the poetry unfolds. It's the ground that ties together all the ways in which that the epic pulls apart the human experience. It's the constant, it's the flow. And you'll recall that when we got to the dramas, the Greek dramas, they too were a poetry. And the playwrights weren't playwrights, they were poets. Why? Because the dramas had that same drive, that same rhythm, that same continuity. Iambic trimeter, an endless flow of a rhythm that calls you back to something else. And I think that something else, that poetry, that rhythm, that meter, I think that's the life that we need to think about that's behind these ever-changing narratives that have a developmental continuity with the landscape and the people that change as well. And when I think of Homer and I think of his commentary on the wine dark sea, that's the life and the drive and the meter that's behind the poetry, that's behind the myth. And I brought you here to the very western end of Crete, to the edge of the world, to get a feel of that rhythm of the sea. And then you'll boast really the most beautiful spot I could think of. So when you think about the drive and the life behind the poetry that's behind the mythi, I want you to think about the sea and the Aegean and the endless flow of the waves as the tides come onto the shore. They crash like hexameters. They lap at the shore. Sometimes they come in a giant wave, and sometimes they come in just a little tide. So here, this is it. This is the wine dark sea. This is the rhythmic flow of the hexameters behind all of our mythi. And that's what's driving the course from beginning to end.